So, an unforgettable moment on the campaign trail for one voter who got a big hug from Trump at an Atlanta Chick-fil-A while he met with supporters. Watch.
I don't care what the media tells you, Mr. Trump. We support you.
We love you.
Okay, 4 p.m. We've been 4 p.m.
Come here, let me give you a hug.
Please do.
Welcome to What Was That? I'm Gabe Sanchez. MAGA Republicans and right-wing media are working overtime to prove that Donald Trump is not a threat to democracy, he's a man of the people, and he's not a racist. And their only evidence is that he went to a Chick-fil-A in Atlanta, Georgia, and hugged a black woman. But here's the thing, the whole thing was staged.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
While Donald Trump was in Atlanta for a fundraiser with a small group of billionaires, I repeat, billionaires, he stopped into a Chick-fil-A to surprise customers.
It's art, right? How you doing? Everything okay? So can I have 30 milkshakes? And also some chicken, and we're going to take care of the customers.
Trump ordered 30 milkshakes and some chicken, which is a strange order, but I guess it's better than that one time he struggled to order a Blizzard at Dairy Queen.
Everybody wants a blizzard. What the hell is a blizzard?
Now, was this visit a surprise? No, this whole Chick-fil-A rendezvous was as staged as a Kardashian selfie. Just like with President Biden, no president, former president, presidential candidate, or even foreign leader is just gonna waltz into a business without having security do a sweep of the perimeter, vet those inside, and coordinate with anyone they're gonna interact with. But Fox News desperately wants you to think that this was all organic.
Donald Trump went to a Chick-fil-A yesterday and was talking with the workers, and it was such an organic moment because you had all these people that obviously knew that the president was there, but were Trump supporters as well, minorities.
Hold on, Fox News has been relentlessly bragging about how Trump supposedly raised $50 million from a fundraiser with billionaires, which by the way was exactly double the amount that President Biden raised.
Suspicious.
But you know what? Sure, let's take Trump at his word, the guy guilty of defrauding banks and investors about the value of his properties and net worth. Oh, and that gala that Trump had with billionaires at his Mar-a-Lago resort? Well, he promised them that he would keep their taxes low if re-elected, so clearly he's working for the common man. And again, before Trump stopped at this Chick-fil-A, he was on his way to another fundraising event with billionaires. So Republicans can save me this whole man of the people bullshit.
When he went up to Michaela Montgomery, he had another extemporaneous conversation. Listen to this exchange that even USA Today had to write up as a positive.
So I don't care what the media tells you, Mr. Trump. We support you.
We love you.
Okay, 4 p.m. We've been 4 p.m.
Come here, let me give you a hug.
Please
Now, the woman hugging Trump is Michaela Montgomery. And let's be honest, when Trump saw Montgomery, I'm sure he wanted to say this.
Look at my African-American over here.
Republicans want you to think that she's some sort of random Atlanta supporter. But surprise, surprise, Michaela Montgomery is actually a longtime Republican activist and former Georgia GOP staffer. And not only that, but Montgomery is also a proud card-carrying member of the Blexit Brigade and has been a city director with them since 2022. You might remember the Blexit group from that one time Candace Owens paid for attendees to travel to Trump's White House event in October 2020, right after he had COVID, and then forced them to wear Blexit shirts. Because nothing says Trump loves the black community quite like exposing them to a deadly novel virus. Blexit later merged with Charlie Kirk's pro-Trump student activist group, Turning Point USA. And as we all know, Charlie Kirk, much like Donald Trump, loves black people.
If I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder, is she there because of her excellence? Or is she there because of affirmative action? It almost creates thought patterns that are not necessarily wholesome. It creates resentment, doesn't it, Heather? This is not a way to design society. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
Yikes.
She is also the founder of an organization called Conserve the Culture. She says that she started the LLC in 2017, but Georgia business records don't have it registered until 2021. And if you try to go to the website, you get this. But hey, there's no better way to conserve the culture than aligning yourself with a grifter like Candace Owens and a racist like Charlie Kirk. Now, despite Montgomery's long history with the GOP, Republicans want you to believe that this was some sort of chance encounter with a regular Atlanta resident. And to help spread this organic embrace with Trump, Fox News has relied heavily on Fox and Friends co-host Lawrence Jones. They had him talk about it on Fox and Friends and then again on Outnumbered. But where Fox News' narrative really fell apart was when they had Lawrence Jones interview Michaela Montgomery.
Appreciate that we were able to not only let him know that regardless of what social media says, I know they're trying to make us think we're supposed to hate you, but we don't. And additionally, it was a learning experience for my students because they were able to see and experience firsthand how the media can warp the perception of an opinion or a person.
Even before news broke about Michaela Montgomery, this whole story seemed very odd to me. And as soon as she said she brought her students, I knew this was an op. This was not some sort of organic, serendipitous meeting between Donald Trump and a black woman in an Atlanta Chick-fil-A.
This entire thing was staged.
And we know this because Montgomery has now admitted that she organized this PR stunt. According to Montgomery, she notified a private group chat of students she uses to coordinate events and job opportunities about the president's visit. She received immediate interest in appearing alongside him from around a dozen students. Only a dozen students? Weird. I can't imagine why she couldn't recruit more people to go. Everybody got together at around 9:30 in the morning and walked on over to the Chick-fil-A, and then we sat there and waited until the president showed up. Which means they waited for nearly 3 hours so Montgomery could use her own community as a prop for Donald Trump to seem popular. When really, exit polling from 2020 and in recent primary elections from 2024 would indicate the complete opposite. Trump desperately needed this con to work so that he could use it to fundraise off because he is strapped for cash. Now, just because Donald Trump is having issues with his finances, that doesn't mean that you have to. Make sure to check out today's sponsor, Rocket Money. I've always struggled with finding time to manage my finances. At the end of a busy week, the last thing I want to do is spend time budgeting all of my expenses or tracking down customer service teams to cancel old subscriptions I no longer use. But now, I use Rocket Money, and it does all that for me. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. With Rocket Money, I have full control over my subscriptions and a clear view of my expenses. I can see all of my subscriptions in one place, and if I see something I don't want, Rocket Money can help me cancel it with a few taps. I love how the dashboard shows me this month's spending compared to last month, so I can clearly see my spending habits. Plus, they'll help me create a custom budget and keep my spending on track. Rocket Money will even try to negotiate lower bills for you by up to 20%. All you have to do is submit a picture of your bill, and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. They'll deal with customer service for you. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's features. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/GabeS. That's rocketmoney.com/GabeS. rocketmoney.com/GabeS. So, just to be clear, Donald Trump went to a Chick-fil-A to greet real voters, when in actuality he was invited by a Republican activist who brought a dozen or so students to take photos with him. A guy with a racist past towards the black community. In 1973, the DOJ under the Nixon administration, out of all administrations, sued the Trump Management Corporation for refusing to rent to black tenants and lying to black applicants about whether apartments were available. In 1989, Trump took out a full-page ad calling for the death penalty of 5 black and Latino teenagers known as the Central Park Five, who were accused and imprisoned for a crime they did not commit. And over the years, Trump has continued to attack black women, such as Michelle Obama, Madam Vice President Kamala Harris, Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, New York Attorney General Letitia James, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, and Georgia election workers Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss. Is anyone else seeing a pattern here? Because the list is endless, and Donald Trump is a racist. Now, you might be wondering why Chick-fil-A and why this specific location? And considering Trump's racist behavior, why were those employees lined up ready to greet him? Well, it's possible those employees weren't exactly volunteering for the job, or they were hand-selected by the owner. And we know this because Donald Trump shared the secret sauce.
This has got a great American franchise, Chick-fil-A.
It is. It's a great franchise. The owner is a great man who is a member of one of my clubs, and he's fantastic.
So when we look back at it, we can see that Trump staged a photo op with a former GOP staffer who was involved with Turning Point USA and Blexit, and they met at a restaurant owned by a man who was a member of Trump's resort. support. Oh, and when Trump came in and made his order for
30 milkshakes and also some chicken.
I guarantee that Donald Trump did not pay for that. Remember when Trump told people in a Miami Cuban restaurant that he would pay for their food but then left 10 minutes later without paying for their food?
Are you ready? Are you ready? Food for everyone. Food for everyone.
But Fox News is still trying to push the narrative that he did.
And we've seen him do it before. Remember after his first court appearance, he went to that Cuban restaurant.
That's
brought
right.
Cuban food for everybody. Now it's Chick-fil-A and milkshakes for everybody.
But I think the funniest and most pathetic part about Trump's staged Chick-fil-A visit is how Fox News' Emily Compagno tried to spin that Donald Trump is not a threat to democracy because he bought people milkshakes and chicken.
Democrats and the mainstream media just can't stop calling former President Trump a threat to democracy. Time and time again, we've heard them repeat the same phrase ad nauseum. But is he really? The former president has been busy on the campaign trail, and yesterday's visit to an Atlanta Chick-fil-A is now going viral online. Trump treated customers to chicken and milkshakes. That's cute. I love her hat. That is genuine.
So whenever you hear a story about Trump in a positive light, you can safely assume it's either fake or it's staged. The guy is a liar, a fraud, and a con man who thinks that the black community is nothing more than a stereotype who will buy his gold spray-painted sneakers and empathize with him because of his felony charges.
These lights are so bright in my eyes that I can't see too many people out there. But I can only see the black ones. I can't see any white ones, you see? That's how far I've come. And then I got indicted a second time, and a third time, and a fourth time. And a lot of people said that that's why the black people like me, because they have been hurt so badly and discriminated against. And they actually viewed me as I'm being discriminated against. It's been pretty amazing. I'm being indicted for you, the black population. I am being indicted for a lot of different groups. The black people are so much on my side now because they see what's happening to me happens to them.
Well, that's all for me today. Thanks so much for watching, and feel free to follow me at I Am Gabe Sanchez. And if you're a fan of the show and want to help it grow, you can contribute to my Patreon at patreon.com/IamGabeSanchez. So until next episode, I'm Gabe Sanchez, and this has been What Was That?